My name is Graeme. I'm from Zimbabwe, and today is quite a momentous day because this beast behind me has finally come to fruition after probably about 14 months working in collaboration with Paul Marsh. This was an idea that he has probably been building around a campfire under a baobab tree for many years, and I think we've got to a point where we have a vehicle that's in its rawest sense ready to conquer the world, really, and certainly provide many an adventure through the African continent, and something that I'm very humbly proud to have been a part of, and certainly a massive smile on my face when I drive this around. So. The call of modern day overlanding is probably the same call that the great explorers of our generations and those gone by responded to. What we create in our minds as obstacles today are nothing. You can drive across the empty quarter in 2 weeks. I drove across it in a day on the Dakar, and the empty quarter is the largest continuous desert in the world. And the Canning Stock route, the Simpson Desert, those were expeditions that the early settlers crossed. It took them weeks. And if you didn't know or appreciate the local custodianship of the land and how to live off the land, you took your life into your own hands. And I think to the extent overlanding today is the same. You need to trust local knowledge, you need to appreciate the local environment and be open to the inward change. You're not going to go and change the destination you go to. It's all the other way. And I think there must be a deep itch in a lot of people that I'm not content with the 9 to 5, the white picket fence, the hour-and-a-half commute. And I think when you're in the simplicity of the wilderness and the true bush, the noise disappears. You don't worry about the insurance or the commute or going to the supermarket and fighting the traffic. And I think the greatest thing that happened for Overland is turning a negative into a positive, the pandemic. You're suddenly controlled by a power higher than your own, and people are questioning their sense of independence and freedom. Life is short. I've seen the world change. I've lost family, I've lost friends, and it's been a global wake-up call to so many people. Like, I'm now taking that bucket list dream. I'm not taking that trip I never thought I could afford, because it reevaluates your priorities. And it's a healing place. I think there's a lot of people that maybe go on overlanding trips for healing of some sort, or a sense of awakening, or asking questions. They want to find out more about themselves. They're looking for answers, and overlanding is probably a more community-driven, safer opportunity to experience those same things. And I don't think you need, just go is another thing. Don't wait for the perfect vehicle. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait for the perfect weather. Pack your VW Beetle and put a roof rack on it and a tent and a sleeping bag and cruise up the coast. If you look at the pioneers of Dakar, they didn't have a super zoom KTM $40,000 rally bike. They just had the bike at the time with a canvas rucksack on the back with a 2-liter bottle of water and a compass and a map, and they just went off into the Sahara. And that was, if I think Dakar was hard for me, imagine the guys in the 1970s, So there's always a harder journey. You just have to look for it. That journey of my Dakar safari was fueled by my upbringing in Zimbabwe. A Zimbabwean boy with a dream that started riding barefoot on a little farm bike around a ranch in the middle of Zimbabwe. Dakar was always something I just remember looking at every January before school and idolizing these guys, thinking, wow, that just seems like the greatest adventure around. I don't remember having a clear-cut plan. I just remember the day I decided that there's no more excuses. Like, the South Africans have done Dakar, the Zambians have done Dakar, the Botswanans have done Dakar. So I sort of said, well, hang on, there's a flag missing. The whole project was titled My Dakar Safari. Safari being a Swahili word for adventure or a journey of great undertaking. And I'd grown up in the safari industry, I'd grown up on a ranch, so a lot of my wilderness experiences and a lot of the formative experiences as a young adult in remote places, sleeping on a motorcycle because you've broken down, literally using the seat as a pillow with a fire, with lines all around, riding into lines on motorbike trips. It was a microcosm of Dakar. You were faced with all these challenges in a safe environment over a 24-hour period that then you fertilize those experiences and you manifest them into the bigger thing. And if I carry on that analogy, then Dakar is going to manifest into something bigger. And the foundations and the lessons I learned in Dakar, I can carry forward, put them in my pocket, and be it overlanding through Africa, which is a dream. I'll be comforted by the experiences in Dakar. I'd love to give back to Zim going forward, to open up Zimbabwe to the overland market in the sense of clarifying some of the misconceptions, helping understand the beautiful locations it has. I think overlanding globally is going through this massive boom. There's a massive amount of interest in overlanding. I think the restrictions on travel through the pandemic forced everyone to travel local, and they've really liked what they've experienced. And I think the world's going to look for more remote, uncharted destinations to overland. I always feel in Africa, time stands still until you see a sunset or sunrise, because that's when you actually get a relative perspective on time, because it can drop over the horizon so quickly. And I think it's, like any navigation trip or any expedition, you don't worry about the end, you worry about what's in front of you now. You don't worry about the river you haven't got to, you don't worry about the mountain pass you haven't got to, you don't worry about the border crossing that's in 6 weeks' time, you worry about the one that's in front of you now, because that's the present, and that's the only thing you can influence. It's very present, it's very confronting, can be very daunting, but for me it's very invigorating, because that's where life happens, I think. So, yeah, awesome. Does that answer your question?
Thank you so much for joining us on our journey, sharing our films and following us. And if you would like to see more, please click on the link below, and we'd love you to contribute through Patreon.